What are we made of, according to biochemistry? Hello and welcome to my channel, where we learn a little bit of everything all of the time. Everything in your body is built from just 4 main types of molecules. Believe it or not, our bodies are made from 4 biological macromolecules. These are large molecules that cells use to build structures and carry out life. No matter what we're doing, whether it's running a marathon or sleeping soundly, our bodies depend on them. They are carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, nucleic acids. 1. Carbohydrates. First on our list, carbohydrates. You know those carbs everyone is always saying they need to cut down on? Yeah, those carbs. Carbohydrates are one of the body's main sources of quick energy. They include simple sugars like glucose and complex carbohydrates like starch. Chemically speaking, carbohydrates are molecules made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, often in roughly a 1:2:1 ratio, like glucose, C6H12O6. They are built from smaller units called monosaccharides, also known as simple sugars. Examples include glucose, found in carbohydrate-rich foods like bread, rice, pasta, and grains. Fructose, found naturally in fruits and honey. The lactose, commonly found in milk and other dairy products. These monosaccharides can link together to form larger molecules called polysaccharides, such as starch, how plants store energy; glycogen, how humans store glucose; cellulose, the structural component of plant cell walls. When you eat carbohydrates, several things happen. They are broken down during digestion into glucose. Glucose enters the bloodstream. Cells then use glucose to produce ATP, the cell's main energy molecule, through cellular respiration. This process can be summarized by this chemical equation: glucose plus oxygen, ATP plus carbon dioxide plus water. So what does the body actually use carbohydrates for? Primarily, quick energy, fuel for the brain, fuel for muscles during exercise. The brain in particular relies heavily on glucose as its main fuel source. When the body has more glucose than it needs, the excess gets stored as glycogen in places like the liver and muscles. 2. Lipids. Next up, lipids, also known as fats. Lipids are molecules that do not dissolve in water, which means they are hydrophobic. Now, these guys won't be canceled for their phobia anytime soon. In fact, we rely on that property every day. 3 common types of lipids are: triglycerides are commonly stored as body fat. They are made of 1 glycerol molecule and 3 fatty acids. Phospholipids, the main components of cell membranes. These molecules have a hydrophilic, water-loving head and hydrophobic, water-repelling tails. Steroids, which include molecules like cholesterol and many hormones. Lipids are incredibly energy-rich. Fat contains about 9 calories per gram, compared to 4 calories per gram for carbohydrates and proteins. Lipids can be broken down through a process called beta oxidation, which eventually feeds into cellular respiration to produce ATP. So what does the body actually use lipids for? Several critical functions. Long-term energy storage. Fat stores energy that can be used when food isn't available. A feature our bodies evolved for survival, even if it sometimes makes it harder to fit into last year's genes. Cell membranes. Phospholipids form the structure of every cell membrane. Their hydrophilic heads and hydrophobic tails create a structure called the phospholipid bilayer, which protects cells and controls what enters and leaves them. Hormone production. Certain lipids form steroid hormones, such as estrogen, testosterone, cortisol. Protection and insulation. Body fat helps cushion organs, maintain body temperature, and honestly, It makes for way better hugs. 3. Proteins. Now let's talk about proteins. Whether you're trying to study better or get jacked, protein plays a huge role in the human body. Proteins are large molecules made from amino acids. There are 20 amino acids used by the human body. These amino acids link together with peptide bonds to form polypeptide chains, which then fold into functional proteins. Proteins can have up to 4 levels of structure: primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary. The shape of a protein determines how it works. Because proteins can fold into so many shapes, they can perform a huge variety of tasks. One of their most important roles is acting as enzymes. Enzymes are biological catalysts, meaning they speed up chemical reactions and lower the energy needed for those reactions to occur. Think of it like pushing a ball down a hill. Once that first push happens, the ball keeps rolling. Without enzymes, many chemical reactions in the body would happen far too slowly to support life. But proteins do much more than just catalyze reactions. They also function in structure. Proteins like collagen provide structure for skin, bones, and connective tissue. Keratin forms the structure of hair and nails. Movement. Muscle contraction happens because of proteins like actin and myosin. Transport. Hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells, carries oxygen throughout the body. Immune defense. Antibodies are proteins that recognize and attack pathogens. Regulation. Some hormones are proteins, such as insulin, which regulates blood sugar levels. 4. Nucleic acids. Finally, we have nucleic acids. These molecules store and transmit genetic information. The stars of the genetic show are DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA, ribonucleic acid. Both are built from smaller units called nucleotides. Each nucleotide contains a sugar, a phosphate group, a nitrogen base. DNA bases include adenine, A, thymine, T, cytosine, C, guanine, G. RNA is very similar, but thymine is replaced with uracil, U. DNA stores the instructions for building proteins. Think of it like the instruction manual for a Lego set. This process happens in 2 steps. Transcription. DNA is copied into messenger RNA, mRNA. It's like printing the instruction manual so it can be sent to the builder. Translation. Ribosomes read the mRNA and assemble proteins using amino acids. Just like building a Lego set using the instructions. This entire process is called gene expression. Thanks to nucleic acids, cells can store genetic information, replicate during cell division, produce proteins, regulate cellular activity. Without DNA and RNA, cells would have no instructions for how to function. Just like having a box of Lego bricks, but no instructions. Conclusion. So let's run it back. All 4 macromolecules work together to sustain life. Carbohydrates provide quick energy. Lipids store long-term energy, form membranes, and produce hormones. Proteins build structures, act as enzymes, transport molecules, and regulate processes. Nucleic acids store and transmit the genetic instructions for life. Together, they form the foundation of all biology. And just like that, you now know the basic building blocks of life. Thank you for watching. And remember, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but still always better than a master of one.